What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we are looking at another very exciting new battle card, which is going to be coming out in Wave 2 of the Transformers trading card game, Rise of the Combiners. It was revealed by the lovely Chris Van Meter over on Twitter, and it's called Underhanded Tactics. Do make sure you're following Chris over on Twitter, because he's a lovely man, and he's showing us these cards. And you know from these reveal videos, whoever's giving us the exclusive reveal, we need to show them a bit of love. I love that Transformers are giving these reveals to content creators and members of the community. Honestly, we want to encourage them to continue doing that, so let's show some love to the people that do. So Underhand Tactics then. It's got a blue icon, nice for defensive decks. You do 1 damage to an enemy, but if it is KO'd this way, you get to repair 1 damage from one of your Decepticons. So this is one of those really nice two-sided cards, which could just be, hey, I'm doing an extra damage to one of my enemies, yay, woo, etc. Or it could be, I'm doing extra damage and healing, look at the ridiculous advantage I'm getting, I feel like I might win this game. One of the first things to point out about this, quite frankly, is it's Zap. Like, it's blatantly Zap. Zap does 1 damage to an enemy. This does 1 damage to an enemy. The big difference here is the icon. Now, I know you can heal if you KO. Gonna be honest with you, it's not all that often you're gonna be KOing with this. Because in order to KO with this, you've basically got to find a way, either through attacking or through cheeky damage, extra damage, non-attack damage, to get one of your opponent's characters down to 1 health point remaining, and then get this card. Not saying it's impossible, not saying it's never going to happen, I'm saying it's not going to happen all that much. So if we assume for a second that it's not happening, this is Zap with another icon. This is a blue icon Zap, and you know what? That alone makes it a great card that makes me extremely happy. Because if I want to be playing a defensive blue deck, but I want to get some cheeky non-attack damage in, I was in Wave 1, and still am, to be honest. Wave 2's not out for almost like 4 weeks. I can't wait that long. I mean, I have no choice, but I don't want to. The fact of the matter is, we now have a way to do that 1 extra damage in either a blue or an orange focused deck. That alone is pretty gosh darn good. And if we have a quick look at the other cheeky damage, as I like to call it, clearly we've got some better options. I mean, Plasma Burst here does 2 damage to 1 enemy, that's twice as much. But having said that, it doesn't have an icon. And not having an icon really does put you at a disadvantage. If you're playing a card without an icon, you've got to be absolutely sure it's good. Something like I Still Function that brings one of your characters back for 1 turn with 1 health doesn't have an icon. But you can bring something like Ransack back, who turns into a 5-cost character with an attack of 7. Or you can bring back Sludge, who can then heal all of your other Dinobots. So it's worth doing things like this. But if you're playing something without an icon, you better be pretty gosh darn sure you need it. Speaking of cheeky damage without an icon, how about Bolt of Lightning, which is, well, it's 1.5 plasma bursts. It is 3 damage to an enemy. Again, there's no icon, and here it costs a star. So if you end up with a character combination of fewer than 25 stars, then you can put 1 or 2 of these in if you so wish. It's not actually great as a card for doing extra damage. Zap is not a phenomenal card for extra damage. To be perfectly clear about this, it is not a great card for extra damage. Zap is a very standard, straightforward card. But it's got an orange icon, and that 1 damage can be the difference, and we've seen that in some Decepticon decks that have gone aggro, this card has seen play. Well, now we can do the same thing, but in a more defensive deck. But then we get to the point where this is more than just Zap, because you get the healing as well. Now, it's only if you get a KO, and there's only so many KOs to have during your turn. And there's every chance you'll get a KO while attacking. If you're only playing these and you're not playing any other cheeky damage cards, then essentially here, you've got this ridiculous situation where you've got to try and attack them and do 10 damage less and then hope they don't have healing so that you can KO them with this. And my thoughts on this are really quite clear. If you're playing underhanded tactics, your focus needs to be, yay, cheeky healing and a blue icon. And I think the damage has to be a handy bonus. It's just not reliable. It is not something you're going to be able to do or pull off on a regular basis. And I don't know if I can endorse this as a card just to do the healing. And look, if you want to do healing, we've got options. We've got emergency maintenance. Now, admittedly, emergency maintenance might only heal 1, but then again, emergency maintenance may also heal 3. And 3 is very nice indeed. That's if you've got more stars in your KO area than you do have on the battlefield. So okay, it starts off being underpowered, but it gets pretty good pretty quickly. Medic is just a standard heal 2. 2 is better than 1. Although admittedly, Medic doesn't have an icon. Apparently healing 2 is very good. I say heal, I mean repair. You know what I mean. And then we've got Repair Bay, which actually heals 1 from all of your characters. And if you happen to be a truck, might I remind you about Team Up Tactics, which will heal 2 damage while having an icon in your face medic, but only from a truck. Interestingly enough, if you play Autobot Novastar, who is both a truck and a car truck, then you actually get to draw 2 cards and heal 2, making Team Up Tactics a phenomenal card. But there's no way around that this is underpowered. When I say underpowered, I don't mean pointless. 1 damage can be the difference between winning and losing. I showed you electrified spikes not too long ago on this channel, a lovely new upgrade armor for Dinobots, whereby if you are defending and you flip at least 2 orange icons, you get to do 1 damage to the attacker. And when I posted about this, a whole bunch of people pointed out, you know what? It might only be 1 extra damage, but a lot of the time that's enough. Dinobots have a nasty habit of being 1 damage away from getting a KO, leaving people on 1 health. In comes electrified spikes, and that makes the difference. Can be gotten rid of with ramming speed, but let's just pretend that's not happening right now. So doing an extra 10 damage could be the difference, and healing an extra 10 damage could be the difference. Frankly, it is the combination of the 2 of these that makes this into a good card. I don't love it for the 1 damage, although I do accept the fact that it's just zap with a blue icon. Think about it like that, there are some decks that are going to want to play it. I really am not a fan of healing 1 damage when you take a KO with it, because I think it's going to happen so rarely. I mean, look, a lot of the time you're not going to get the KO. And a lot of the time, it's not going to be 1 damage makes a difference. And finding those turns where you are both getting a KO and you're healing a crucial 10 damage, that is going to be extremely difficult. But if we see it as, yay, it's giving me a blue icon for my defensive deck, yay, it gives me extra damage, yay, I will sometimes get extra healing, and we look at it as a whole, as a combo card, I really, really like it. If you want to do extra damage, you're probably better with Plasma Burst. If you want to be healing, you're probably better off with Medic. This is, of course, avoiding stuff like Team Up Tactics. I mean, look, if you want to do cheeky damage, if you're playing a ranged character, you can attach Armed Hovercraft and do 1 damage to each of your opponent's characters. That's clearly better. But if you're not playing those, I think this is not a bad card at all. I don't think it's going to see a huge amount of play. I think it's going to be a fringe card in a few decks here and there, and that's okay. Not every card needs to be a banger. I don't think this is one of the stronger cards we've had revealed from the set so far. I think it's got its uses, but I think overall it is a niche card that will fit into some decks. Having said that, you guys might not agree with me, and I will remind you what I always do in these videos. Wave 2 hasn't released yet. We don't actually know everything that's in Wave 2, and no one's done any testing here. Our knowledge is, to be polite, incomplete. So I would very much like to know what you're thinking about this card, so please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! But please do remember the most important thing, be nice, would ya? And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk about Transformers, But we also talk about other games, because other games are fun as well. But by far the most important thing, as always, please look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.